The stressed brain, the tired brain cannot learn. And also, we've seen a tool to deal with stress and fatigue in college, the Transcendental Meditation practice. What I'd like to do is take that tool, put it in its larger context of meditation practices, and then explore what transcending does to the brain. And then we'll see what transcending does to Chevy's brain. We'll see her EEG, eyes open, and then also TM practice. So first, there's different categories of meditation. One category is focused attention. This is meditations that require you to keep one experience in mind. It could be focusing on the breath. It could be focusing, putting your attention someplace in the head, the heart. The other category of meditation, open monitoring. This category doesn't keep one experience in mind, but you keep your attention on the changing experiences. What these meditations are doing is they're teaching you how to use your mind in a different way. Focus attention, it's learning to focus. And you actually see a specific brainwave then, it's called gamma. Goes up 30 to 50 times per second. Open monitoring, you're learning to be mindful. What's going on right now in my head, my heart, my body, emotions, and so on. And again, you see a very specific brainwave because this procedure is different. These meditations are teaching you how to use your mind. The third category, automatic self-transcending, teaches you how to sharpen your mind. This is where transcendental meditation is. And it teaches you to transcend, to go from thinking to being. So what does sharpening the mind mean? What does sharpening the mind mean for blood flow? Where here we have blood flow during sleep. What we see is front part of the brain is actually the first part of the brain that goes to sleep. The tired brain literally cannot learn because the front part of the brain is what takes information and puts it into memory. Transcending, we see a different style of functioning. It's restful alertness. It's not just more of sleep. It's not more of what we're already getting. It's a completely different state where the mind and body are rested, but the frontal executive system is more alert. It's restful alertness. Sharpening the mind in terms of brain activity is in terms of being more awake. Here we have the brain that's looking to the right. The red center is called the thalamus. That's the switchboard of the brain. This is where outside information comes in from the eyes, from the ears, skin. And this central part of the brain sends output to the cortex. Cortex sends it back. You get a neural loop. That's a neural representation of what's going on outside. Also, what's going into this part of the brain is wakefulness, activation, alertness from the spinal cord. It also creates loops with the brain. But what these loops maintain is wakefulness. The process of transcending is taking a specific thought, and that thought begins to fade away. And what's left are the wakefulness circuits, alertness, awareness. And because when you use the brain, those circuits are strengthened, every time we transcend, this underlying wakefulness is being strengthened. These loops go up and down 8 to 10 times per second, and so that's the brain waves we see during TM. Also, because they're coordinated from the center of the brain, all the electrical activity is coordinated. It's called coherence. So sharpening the mind means higher alpha coherence during transcendental meditation practice, as we see here. Each column is a different frequency band. The top row is the top of the head. The bottom row is the front of the head. Each dot is where we record brain waves. There's a line between the dots if those parts of the brain are working together. And we see this in this process of transcending, this state of restful alertness. The frequency of just wakefulness, coherence is higher. It's very high in the front of the brain. That's the part of the brain that thinks, that organizes, and is symmetrical. Now, sharpening the brain also is seen in this pattern being seen in activity. Here we have two individuals. One individual has been practicing TM for 24 years, one individual for 6 months. And you can probably tell which one is which. The top one has been meditating for 24 years. Notice that pattern of functioning seen during TM practice is not part of their daily life. That's what sharpening the mind means. Bringing that style of restfulness and alertness out of the meditation session into daily activity. So let's look under the hood. Everything is equilibrating here. It's not that there we go. There's the brain waves. So what we have is the top two signals is the EEG coming from these parts of the brain. The bottom row is the online coherence. What is computing is what is the level of connectivity of the left and right side of the brain at this moment. Now you notice when the eyes are open, the coherence is very variable. When this line goes up to the top, it means that the left and right coherence are doing things together. And Chevy will have to look forward. Thank you. When it goes down, it means that coherence breaks apart. Now, this is a healthy brain. What is happening is different parts of the brain come together to take care of some part of perception, then they break apart. And other parts of the brain come together, and then they break apart. So what we'll do is we'll start recording the EEG, and then we'll ask Chevy to begin her TM practice. So you can start TM practice now. Very good. So now you can stop your meditation practice. Sit easily and then open the eyes. And I want you to tell me when she started her TM practice. Okay. She started yet? No. Notice the coherence. It's high up and down. Also notice the raw EEG. It's highly variable. It's low amplitude. Has she started yet? Yeah, she's closed her eyes. Sit easily for half a minute. Each dot is a second. And notice what's happening to the coherence. It's beginning to go up at the top, and it's mainly staying up at the top. This is 10 seconds into meditation. There's 20 seconds into meditation. I just stopped it. This area here, up above, notice the rhythmical signal. If we count that, it'll be going up 8, 9, 10 times per second. That's the signal when the mind is settling, is transcending. And with that, we see the coherence is extremely high. The left and right sides of the brain are together. The front part of the brain is functioning as a